In this tutorial, we're going to use Photoshop CC 2020 to create a collage with a matte effect. So if you've ever bought a picture frame, sometimes it has that piece of paper or a piece of cardboard kind of in front that you put your image behind. That's kind of what we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and start with a new one. You should have some images downloaded from your from the drive, so we've got some images here to play with. Let's go ahead and go into Photoshop. I'm going to close this up. Let's say File, New. And this time let's go ahead and do it in inches. So instead of pixels, we want 3 inches by 3 inches. Resolution 300 is fine. And let's say Create. Let's do a file, Save As. And we're making this pretty small so that you don't have as much to upload to Canvas. If you're doing this for real, I'd definitely say make it bigger than 3 inches by 3 inches. So let's go ahead and do first initial, last name, underscore, matte collage. Don't put that in there. Spelling it right would be good. .psd. I already have one, it's going to ding at me. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and let's do an edit. And let's fill with black, because that's going to be kind of our foreground color. If you wanted to make it a different color on the front, then you would want to go ahead and change that at this point. Alright, at this point, let's go ahead and turn off our visibility for our layer 0. Well, in background, we didn't make one yet. Let's go ahead and add a new layer. Alright, let's go ahead and drop that background off for right now. So let's go ahead and do a file, Open. And you should have one that's called Black and White Footprints .png. So I'm going to go to my collage images. Black and White Footprints .psd. This is PSD, or here's PNG, and say Open. Alright, so we can see it's a much bigger than what we have so far, so let's make our image. And let's do our image size. Let's go ahead and make that 2.5 inches. And Preserve Details 2.0 is on, and say OK. So we're going to make that a little bit smaller. Alright, we're going to go ahead and drag these feet over to our matte collage. So we're going to grab layer 1, bring it over here, drop it back down. Alright, so you can kind of put those where you want. Maybe you want to rotate them a little bit. Up to you as to how you're going to put those on. Anywhere where the feet are is where the images are going to pop through. So normally you'd hold Shift so you don't lose your proportions. I'll go ahead and see how you get those automatic magenta bars, kind of tell you where you're at as far as the center of the page goes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Alright, so we have our back of our photo frame, which is what this is right here. We have that layer 1, which we're not going to end up using, so I goofed. Let's go ahead and grab that layer 1. We are going to use it. Okay. We want to fill the area around the feet with the color. So it's actually layer 2. I'm going to throw layer 1 in the garbage. So we're going to fill the area around the feet with color. So let's go ahead and I guess we can do black, or we can do blue. Let's do blue today. Blue's kind of fun. So I'm going to grab my foreground color, I'm going to grab my paintbrush, and dump that in. So now this is the actual color of my mat itself. So I will see the blue. Alright, so then I want to go to my still on that layer with my feet on it. We're going to go to our magic eraser tool. Probably one of the most awesome ones. And we want to erase the white parts. So anywhere where there's white, anywhere where you want the image to come through is where we want to make sure we go ahead and erase. Okay. If you were to leave the toes would stay white, which you might not want for this one. And you can do any type of shape. And it doesn't matter if it's white or black. as long as you can, if it's one solid color, you can really easily magic erase it. All right, let's go ahead and start the photos. So let's go ahead and let's grab an image that we're going to put behind here. So I'm going to go to File and Open. I'm going to go to my collage images, and this time I want to go ahead and do something with more of a pattern. So let's grab this school of fish and say Open. So we want to fix any issues we have with it. So we can do an image, we can do an auto tone, we can do an auto contrast. Maybe we want to adjust that. So let's grab our levels. Go ahead and tell it what is black. Get kind of a deeper color. I need to go ahead and flatten it then. So I'm going to right click and flatten my image. So I've got all my corrections here. I now want to drag this over the mat. So let's bring it in and bring it down. And my layer order is important, so I'm going to stick this underneath. But I can grab that with my move tool and stick it kind of over so I can see whatever it is I want to see through on that. So you'll notice I've got some that's kind of over into other areas which I don't want. So all I can do is take my marquee and draw a rough marquee over the, make sure you're on the layer with the image, and hit delete. And it'll only delete the stuff on that layer that's behind there. So you don't have to be super exact when it comes to this. Or you can go ahead and grab your eraser tool. Make sure you turn your selection off, Control D. All right, that's pretty easy. Let's go ahead and add another one. So let's go File, Open. Let's grab another image. Well, this time let's do, how about sand? Sand's awesome. And we'll do an image. Let's do an auto tone, auto contrast, image adjustments. Let's grab the levels. This time we want to tell it what white is. So let's go ahead and click on a white, something that's white. Ooh, that's a much better color. Let's do a right click down and merge visible. So now we've got one layer again. Let's grab our move tool. Grab our move, drag it up over here to our matte collage and bring it down over here. Whoa, so it went over the entire thing, which I don't necessarily want. I'm going to Control minus and zoom that out until I can see my transform controls. And let's go ahead and put the sand kind of down here in this bottom corner over here. And hit enter. I'm going to do a Control plus. And once again, I'm going to click on that layer, grab my eraser tool, and just kind of erase the parts that are covering areas that I don't want. So the nice thing about making these type of collages is you don't have to be exact when it comes to what you're creating. So I'm going to close some of these other ones up. Don't save any of the changes to those. All right, so I need 2 more images. So File, Open. And let's go ahead and throw in, a tire track is fun. Do a tire track. Oh, let's do a sunset. Let's throw a sunset in. All right, so image, auto tone, image, auto contrast. You can do auto color, but I usually am not very happy with how auto color ends up turning out. Let's do a levels adjustment. Levels adjustments are a really easy way to get a lot of crispness in your pictures without having to do a whole lot of work. So right click, flatten image, bring it up and over. Let's put some sunset over here. Control minus so I can see those transform controls. Oops, not showing them. Oh, it's because I'm still in my wrong tool. Control plus. Okay, let's bring it down. Move it around till it's kind of what I want to see. That's not bad. Enter. And now I'm going to grab my eraser tool, or I can grab my marquee again. And grab. It works relatively well when you know there's a lot, but if I were to go straight down with it, I'd end up cutting off part of my image that I want to keep, and I don't want to do that. Control minus, Control plus, do Control D, turn off our ants, grab the eraser, and erase those few parts that are overlapping. So this is a really easy way, say you need to make some type of repeatable process, Maybe you're making a card or something else. Let's do one more. It's really easy to create that mat. Close, file open. Losing my mind. And then going through and let's throw the leaf in. Now I know I'm going to put this leaf up above, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. So I'm going to do an image rotation. You can choose any pictures you want. So I've got 180. It's not a very great picture, it's kind of out of focus and weird, but it'll work for here. So let's go ahead and with my move tool, image, auto tone, well, it's kind of okay. Auto contrast, let's try see what auto color does on this one. Well, it's not too bad, it's kind of beachy color. And again, I can do a levels adjustment. There's other adjustments you can do as well. So this time I'm going to do black, say this is what black is. Okay. Right click, merge visible. And let's go ahead and bring it in over here. Come down. Whoa. Way too big. And it's okay to move it over on the pasteboard. This way's better. Now I got to make sure that I am only covering the area I want. Okay, Control plus. All right, I'm going to go ahead and grab that eraser on my tool. I'm not loving how exactly that looks, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my move tool. Oh, but it's a little bit too short, so I'm going to have to transform it. Because we're making something artsy, I'm not worried about funhouse people, about messing up my proportion. All right, so erase a little bit more. All right, let's do Control S and save what we've got so far. Say OK. All right, so let's go ahead and add a stroke to the feet. So let's select the layer with the feet on it at the top. And let's go ahead and we want to grab that tools panel. We want to grab the magic wand. Wrong one. And let's go ahead and magic wand, click on the background color. So for me it's the blue, or you could do black. Do select inverse, which means select everything but. All right, and now we want to go ahead and add an effect. So let's go down here to our FX here at the bottom, and let's go ahead and add a stroke. It's going to pop open this. Whoa, that's really ugly. So let's go ahead and do our size at about 8. And we can choose a color. So if I got a color, I can go to color here. I can use my dropper and pull a color out of an image if I like, or I can just grab one from my thing over here. I'm going to grab kind of the darker. That's kind of ugly. Let's try this fish color. Anyway, be as picky as you want. That's really awful. Let's do green. Not much better. Let's go back to our blues. All right, so we got gray. Now we're going to go ahead and say OK. Oh, close that. Say OK. Your position should be inside, in case you're wondering. Let's see, if you do outside, it's going to change it a little bit. Or you can do center, which is kind of split the difference. So if we do center, it's going to do outside of the box as well. I don't mind that. Let's just do center today. And say OK. All right, now we want to go ahead and turn in a flattened copy. So we're going to go up here to our image and our duplicate. We want to go ahead and save the duplicate as Matte Collage flat and say save. OK. Let's go ahead and do layer, flatten image. Discard is fine. And let's go ahead and save, Control S. And save it as a PSD is fine. Make sure you're paying attention to where you're putting it. And that is how you create a matte effect pretty easily. So once you have the things cut out, it's really easy to change out those images behind it. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with.